Normal people become terrified of criminals.
Shots were just fired. Police just came out and told us, and we're headed there right now.
They become terrified of their own government.
From scnr.com. Scanner.
What a cool news site. I love it.
Yeah, Elon Musk on Advertisers withdrawing from X. We're getting off to an early start, so earmuffs your kids. Go fuck yourself. Wow, man.
Wow. By the way,
whole
Tanya,
world,
you can probably not have the kids watch.
That's a quote.
Back home.
The whole world. That's why I said F in the beginning, because I said we're going to play the video. You need the context. The whole world will know those advertisers that killed the company. This is what I've been saying. I was saying in 2018 when the adpocalypse happened on YouTube, I said, if Coca-Cola or insert company, let's say Coca-Cola as an example. I don't know if they boycotted, but let's say they go to YouTube and say, we're going to pull our ads off because of the brand safety issue. YouTube should have said, well, okay, I guess we can give all of your ad space to Pepsi instead. And they would have been like, wait, no, that's really bad for our brand. Yeah, we're going to go give it to your principal. Actually, RC Cola. RC Cola is getting all of your ad space now, free of charge.
Remember Jolt Cola? Can we give it to Jolt Cola?
Yes. Oh, I love Jolt Cola.
What's the
Bring
thing
it back.
That
Bring
the
Jolt Cola back.
Insane Clown Posse guys drink?
Fago.
Yeah, let's put it in that.
Let's play this clip.
I used to drink Jolt at the South Street Diner.
Serge, remember Serge? All right, here we go. Here's the clip.
Apology tour, if you will. That this had been said online. There was all of the criticism. There was advertisers leaving. We talked to Bob Iger today.
I hope they stop.
You hope?
Don't advertise.
You don't want them to advertise?
No. If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go fuck yourself.
Yes, dude.
Just like nervous laughter.
Look at Sorkin.
Go fuck yourself.
Is he doing it? Okay.
Casey wasn't
somewhere
clear enough the first
I hope it is.
Oh, you calling him out?
Hey, Bob. If you're in the
Wow.
Because Bob Iger spoke earlier that day.
Bob Iger, yeah.
That's how
I
I
think
feel.
he's still in the room, actually,
Yeah,
when he's
he
saying
is.
this.
How do you think then about apology?
Absolutely amazing when he's like, I hope they stop.
You can.
What?
He actually freezes.
Stop advertising.
Yeah.
He actually freezes for a second. So Andrew Sorg, this is a guy. You know, he's CNBC, but he's kind of like their golden boy. Then he goes on, this is the New York Times Summit. This is like the masters of the universe of Wall Street. They're all there. Elon comes in. This is where Jamie Dimon, I think earlier in the day, came out and urged everyone to get behind Nikki Haley. They're like, hey, let's get the Uniparty back together. You know, let's do it, guys. Remember we used to run game before Trump? We're going to do that again. And Sorkin was totally down, and everyone was fine with that. Like you can be totally fine by telling people that you want to go on a murderous rampage and invade the Middle East and kill thousands of people. That's cool, and nobody bats an eye. But if you tell advertisers to F off, then everybody loses.
I was going to say you can advocate for attacking Russia.
Yes, nuclear war.
Nuclear war. But if you say we're going to build a wall on our southern border, well, now you're a bigot, racist, and must be stopped.
And there's no way to afford that. We couldn't possibly afford $3 billion for the wall, even though we're paying what $450 billion for all the illegals. It's billion or million?
Mm-hmm. I think it's billion.
It's actually a billion. It's like a factor. It's like I almost can't believe this.
You see Chicago? They're building the camps.
I love
With
it.
churches?
They're building
I love it.
two camps with churches.
No.
They have big empty industrial lots.
I'm mixing up stories.
And they're in two areas in the south side of Chicago. They're building a brick and mortar migrant camp, and then they're also building a tent city.
Well, you see, that'll be perfect for once we get in power for the mass deportations to start, because Stephen Miller is going to run up there himself and actually just start shoveling them onto the back of trucks.
Alex Jones called this a long time ago. It's wild.
That they're the left
15
is
years ago.
far more willing to use government power against any target than the right is.
Mm-hmm.
Right, the right is terrified of wielding power.
Well, because,
the left has no problem whatsoever.
Yeah, well, that's right, because the left that's what they decided governance is. They decided governance is using the government to suppress the American people, and that's their plan.
Right. So the only difference is they'd want to put us in there.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to the Elon story, I don't know if this was a response, but there's a quote from Bob Iger. I have a lot of respect for Elon and what he has accomplished, said Iger. We know that Elon is larger than life in many respects, and that his name is very much connected to the companies he founded or owns. By him taking the position he took in a public manner, we felt that the association was not necessarily a positive one for us. And I'm going to go ahead and say they're lying.
It's not a response. He said it prior.
He said it prior, right. And he's lying because...
So that's why he said, hi, Bob.
They wrote to their shareholders. This is Iger's Disney, right?
Yeah.
Bob Iger, yeah,
right.
easy.
They wrote that they know that their views are misaligned with the public. So for
Internally.
him, to shareholders, to investors.
Right.
So they know that they're on the wrong side of all of this and they're losing money because of it.
Well, and that movie Wish just totally flopped at the box office.
Pure communism.
Just what was the Marvels? The Marvels was the other one. Just absolute flop. And the books aren't doing well either. So the actress formerly known as Paige, that book totally flopped after getting a massive advance from publishers. Jamel Hill's book totally flopped after getting massive advance. They sold like a couple thousand copies. There's just no market for this crap.
But what's wild is they sold out, what was it, a 6-month supply of Michael Knowles' cigars in 24 hours.
24 hours, yeah.
And he was like, the supplier assured us, this is 6 months, trust us. And he's like, okay. And then 24 hours, it's gone. That's crazy.
And then we wonder why the book about queering the Western did not take off. It was a queer Western.
Ah.
Yeah.
Because that's what people are looking
no
for.
one wanted to read it.
It's not.
These all had hefty advances.
It's not just like Wish or the Marvels. Remember Strange World or whatever it was called?
Yep.
Like the whole plot was like a diverse group of people with a bunch of different identities or whatever.
Are you really going to have to narrow it down?
They go on a space quest.
That's literally everything.
I got no idea.
Now,
I'm not going to watch any of that stuff.
Well,
What is
like
wild?
A diverse group of friends. Like that's how every single movie pitch starts right now.
What absolutely is wild, we talked about this with Jeremy Boring the other day, is that like 2 weeks after Daily Wire announces their Snow White, Disney releases a photo of Rachel Ziegler as in the original Snow White costume with dwarves around her, with the original 7 dwarves. We saw the photos of the 7 companions. I guess they're firing. What are they going to fire all those actors? Just they're all gone now.
Like, wouldn't it have been? But just on the face of it, wouldn't it have been really cool if they had got Peter Dinklage and had him play all 7 of the?
But he was the one who said no.
Yeah.
Wasn't he the one who was like,
he said no.
You can't hire? And then there were a lot of other people who were like,
really
you are
against this.
limiting us. Like we don't care about this.
But,
we would love to be cast in these roles.
Wouldn't that have been hilarious to have him in, and he's got like a different beard or a different hair, a different hat, and he like. I don't know. That would just be good. And I don't think anyone would be making fun of you. It's because these are iconic characters.
Exactly.
Well, so mythical dwarves are forged from the stone inside of mountains.
Yes.
Like, we're not insulting you, bro. It's like a mythical character, and the women have beards. Female dwarves have beards.
Yep.
It's like a mythical thing. Like,
There's a lot of politicians who have beards too.
That's true. That is absolutely correct. But
And I don't mean facial
he takes it personally. I don't know. I'm wondering though. Where's he going to get the money for operating this here platform that we all like?
I mean, this is what Elon was kind of saying, which was that the business will fail and everyone will closely document which companies pulled out and allowed Twitter to fail. And Sorkin kind of stutters and is like, no, the advertisers are going to say you said those things and they couldn't be on the platform anymore. And that's why they pulled out. And Musk responds, we'll see how Earth responds to that. Because ultimately, if the advertisers are ruining something the public wants, like Twitter, I mean, there are a lot of Twitter competitor or ex-competitors out there, but nothing succeeded in replacing them. And so people will know who pulled out and wanted to win it.
Elon,
he knows what he's got.
Elon needs to reach out to Anheuser-Busch.
That's a
And go
great
for Bud
idea.
Light. I'm a big Bud Light fan, by the way. Bud Light's the go-to beer.
Because of the deal with
Sean Strickland, because UFC.
Yeah.
Because they basically totally reversed course in the exact opposite direction by doing this. So now you have Sean Strickland saying things I can't repeat on YouTube.
And they're subsidizing it.
So I'm like, okay. Let's push that. Let's have that be the narrative.
Plus, who doesn't love a good redemption story?
Yeah. I feel like I'm holding out. They need a little bit more redemption from them, but it's a step in the right direction.
But if every company that did some woke BS flipped and started sponsoring people we liked, we have to accept that as a win.
Our win, yeah.
That is
so
a win.
you're not going to get like you're not going to get rid of Anheuser-Busch. That company's just too powerful to ever not stop existing. So I think, and we talked about this on Thought Crime with the show I do with Charlie, where it's sort of like, at what point do you stop beating, right? You stop beating until they correct the behavior. So if they've overcorrected in the other behavior, then they're okay. Now we have to so Absolute Vodka, I think, Libby, you were tweeting about this. Like they've gone 10 times worse than anything that Bud Light ever did.
Well, no more Absolute Vodka. What do we have? We have our stuff
cutting
from Russia.
himself off.
Cutting off. We never bought that crap. We buy our stuff's from Russia.
the real stuff.
Yeah, real
Authentic.
stuff.
Vodka.
Exactly.
The real
That's how you do it.
vodka. This is what you do. to keep
I thought it was
warm in
funny,
winter.
too,
Cure
'cause-
COVID with vodka.
We bought it at like the peak of the Russia-Ukraine
Demonetized.
conflict. And then the guy at the liquor store is like, that's from Russia. And I'm like, I'll take 3. It's like, I don't
Never
know.
saw it again.
I mean, my legend says that Russia has the good vodka. No one's actually had any, I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Like we have Grey Goose too in the liquor cabinet.
It
But I
will
don't,
turn you to bear. Tim's gonna come in with like a Z
I used
on
to
his
buy
knee.
I used to buy Zhelka vodka from this liquor store called KGB Liquors on Essex Street in Manhattan.
oh wow. Everybody drinks scotch. You're like someone comes in and they're like, I'll have a drink. They're going for some kind of like a scotch or a bourbon.
Yeah.
Nobody touches the tequila or the vodka. What are those like college party drinks? I guess. I'm like, we got good stuff. You know, we
I think
take care of
Scots
our
you just
guests.
savor a little bit more and like
I guess. The best
know.
thing ever, shout out to Max Blumenthal. He went right for the Malort. And he was like, oh, Malort. And I was like, are you joking?
I couldn't
He
tell
was
if it
like,
was
no,
or
I
not.
love this stuff. And I was like, oh, wow. For those who don't know, it's a Chicago thing.
I would say though, what Elon has done here, he has declared a new meme war. He has declared meme jihad on any advertiser that's come. That's what he's done. He's gone to the heart of Wall Street, right? And he has now declared war on any business that doesn't advertise on, or I should say that pulled out of X over this. So to all the meme warriors out there, to the edge lords, to the posters, this is your call. The banners have been called. The beacons have been lit. Meme jihad on all of them.
I want all of you sitting at home in front of your computers with paintbrush on your taskbar pinned to crack that open and make the memes. And when you post that meme, I want to imagine that you are Gandalf on top of that hill at the Battle of Helm's Deep with the Riders of Rohan storming in.
How did you know that I have it pinned? I'm not even joking.
Paintbrush.
Yo, I literally was hitting up my boy Still Boneless the other day because they changed MS Paint. There's like a new version.
Yeah.
And all the like original format is off. And I was like, no, it's not working. It's not.
they're trying to thwart this.
But
meme
They're trying to
jihad.
stop the meme. Yeah, they're trying to stop the
It's
meme war.
preemptive strike.
So you can like down convert it, and there's a way. And Boneless figured it out. So
I
shout
mean, OG MS Paint is like for making the memes.
Yes.
All of the drawings of characters in the memes are drawn, haphazardly through MS Paint. We don't need improvements.
No.
Get out of here with
like
that.
the original always has been the 2 astronauts meme. That's very famously like a really crude MS Paint meme. like the original one.
This was my pitch to Elon, and he's like, sort of there. I was saying he should anti-advertise. Perhaps it's as simple as what Jack is saying. We should just start memeing all of these companies and insulting them and
meme
saying,
jihad.
yes, meme crusade.
Well, Dave's Volt, baby.
It is. These look, Disney. Who do they think they are? Like they made Mulan and thanked the security forces running the concentration camps, the Uyghur concentration camps in China, and they're going to get on their high horse and insult X. It's purely political. Spare me your nonsense. You don't care what Elon Musk said. You're playing dirty games because you're crackpot weirdos. But I'll tell you this. When Disney put out that statement about how they're losing, they mentioned their goals towards the environment and social change. Quite literally, they're saying ESG has screwed us over and is costing all of you money.
Well, because at the end of the day, right, ESG only existed, this environmental sustainability government scheme was, it was all about a stock scheme, right? It was never anything that had to do with making a good product. So the idea was that if you had a good ESG score, that you would score bigger capital with like BlackRock and Blackstone, State Street, etc. So they would come in and they would capitalize you, and then your stock would rise. And then also you would just gain more access to more capital markets, more American capital markets through that. And so again, like you wanted a better score. So this is in your question. Famously, by the way, they screwed over Elon Musk for Tesla because they gave them a low ESG score. And he's like, I'm literally the only guy in the world who founded a company just to do electric cars. How could, this is the definition
not diverse
of
enough.
ESG, right? And they got hit on diversity. He's like, it's the definition of environmentally
I'm
friendly.
an African immigrant who started an electric car company. What are you talking about?
How could I possibly have a negative score? And they hit him on diversity because he had too many white males. And
Right.
so, he's declaring his like internal jihad against it, but there's a lot of people now looking at it saying, look, we realize that this has gone way too far, because initially it was just supposed to get your score up to help with the stock, but then it just slowly dominated those entire companies. It dominated their entire workforce. Obviously with Netflix, we know it's turned into a meme. It's turned into a meme with Netflix, where they're kind of like leaning into it now, and they're making like the General Hannibal is going to be black.
Yeah,
you know,
Really?
which is Denzel Washington.
Wow.
Who's
Yeah.
a great actor. Like, we all love Denzel, right? I don't think there's really any Denzel detractors out there, but you know,
But the argument is
the
that like, he's
Carthaginians
from
were
Northern
not-
Africa, and it's
Yeah.
like, even though it's Africa, he's not
Right.
like a black African.
It's
He's not the same.
I don't have a big
Yeah.
problem with Idris Elba playing
007?
no in Thor.
The watch guy, the guy with the eyes.
I forgot his name. Do you remember his name?
Nah.
He's like an actual like
Yeah, I know who you're talking
Norse
about.
mythological god or whatever. And I'm like, I don't have a big issue with like anyone playing any mythological or
No,
whatever.
me neither. No
yeah, it's like
concerns at
whatever.
all.
But if it's like a historical figure,
Historical
Hannibal.
figures are worse. I will say, even with mythical stuff, like there are lots of cultures that have myths. Why don't we just have new ideas? Why don't we do new things? Like, this is
Time
what
doll.
bothered me about
doll, yeah.
the Little Mermaid thing, and Disney pays for this, right? They decide that they don't see enough diversity, and rather than saying like, well, what cultures do we want to see diversity from, and what stories can we steal from them? Instead, they're like, Hans Christian Andersen, we're doing it again, except we've just changed the skin tones. And that feels so cheap and gross that I think ultimately it's collapsing around them. It's the same
the
thing,
thing
like
is, though-
when they're making these teeny bopper remakes of stuff. You know, what was it? They had one that like on Robin Hood, except it was going to be a girl, and it's set in the inner city. And ultimately, I don't even know if it ever got made, because people don't like it. It's transparent. It's cheap. It doesn't engage them intellectually. It's not really a form of art. It's barely a form of entertainment.
But
This
they're
isn't
not
a
just
marketable
changing.
skill.
Yeah, but they're not just changing the skin tone, right? I mean, if you're just changing skin tone, that's one thing. But you're not just swapping gender when you do it. You know, when you do that kind of thing. What you're doing is taking stories that have meaning, that have a place in culture, and transforming them into something that is meaningless and empty and dead. So you're taking living stories and living narratives, and you're just killing them and turning them into nothing.
I mean, that was the thing about Snow White, right?
Is this real, Tim? I just saw a tweet. The New York Times just deleted the Deal Book Summit with Elon from their YouTube channel.
No shit.
What?
Oh, excuse me. What happened?
It says,
You're
yeah,
fired.
just before the show. Obviously what this clip
I don't
is
know
from.
how we would track that. If the video's not there, the video's not there. How do we know it was ever there?
Maybe it has been
'Cause we have
archived.
clips of it.
We
No,
do
but-
have plenty of clips.
Someone has a link back to it from New York Times under
There's stuff
the
with
New York
Elon
Times
up.
events.
No, the Elon stuff is up.
On Twitter.
Oh, it's CNBC has clips of
Yeah,
it.
that's what I'm saying. There's clips of it still out, but apparently the whole thing was according to this tweet from Adrian Dittman, they're saying the New York Times took down the full event from New York Times events.
Interesting.
I'm going to stop right there. You know, what probably happens is when live, you can set live shows to not be public after they're done. That may have just been the case.
This video has been removed by the uploader.
Yeah.
That's what it would say.
I'm pretty sure that when you're setting a live stream, you can set them so that after they're done, they don't appear as videos on your channel, and it would say it's removed. So,
It doesn't look like they have anything from Deal Book Summit up. Not just
but I don't know. Like the clips that were pulled, they were pulled while the show was still live.
I mean, yeah, you can't stop the clips. The clips are
Yeah.
out. But
I don't know.
But why would you pull it?
I mean, I'm pretty sure they may have just made it so the show went behind the went private as soon as it was done being live. That's a common thing.
Oh,
Maybe, I don't know. I'm just saying, before I say anything, I'd like to know for sure exactly what happened.
sure.
If it was, the live stream was done and it was on their channel and you could watch the archive, and now it's been deleted, that means they went and actually removed it.
I mean, they've got a bunch of other live streams up.
But I don't know why they would even do that, because but when are they from?
One's from 8 hours ago. Was
Was it an event, or what is it?
Some are events, some are interviews, some are just different things.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Perhaps that is the case. Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.